Hi. If you haven't seen the first part, then the link is in the description. And so put a like and enjoy watching. That day, obsessed with the desire for revenge, I took the demon by the hand. Looking at me with a satisfied grin, he said ominously. You are free to decide what kind of hell you will create, man. And then Bahamurk cautiously raised 2 fingers and added. However, there should be 2 mandatory elements in its creation. I wonder what kind of elements are these? That's what I could see on my face. Required elements? Right. The first. The hell you created must have a sin for which he will be imprisoned. And the name of this sin will be the name and a kind of nature of hell. I quickly figured out what was going on here. Hell of greed or hell of lies. How is that so? Bahamurk seemed to grin. Hee, you're smart. Pointing his finger at me, he added. Right. Something like a hell of greed or a hell of lies. Naturally, these 2 hells already exist. Therefore, you need to choose something else. After listening to my devil mentor, I thought about it. Everything looks as if. It's like I need to choose a sin so that I can aim and throw everyone I want there. But I didn't know how to think about everything properly, as Bahamurk voiced the second condition. Second. Hell should be a structure from which there is no way out. As you understand, the essence of hell is to make sinners suffer forever. If the sinner somehow gets out of there, then this hell will automatically disappear. Just like the demon is the master of this hell. I carefully examined the key that the demon gave me. It was a golden-colored key, with a pommel in the form of a red skull, and golden rays radiating from its neck. After listening to my mentor, I still decided to clarify. Are you saying that if there is a hole in the hell I made, you will be responsible for all this? Almost smiling, the demon replied. All right. However, I don't feel burdensome. If I'm already destined to disappear. At that moment, he opened his mouth, and his whole body seemed to burst into flames. He almost shouted that phrase. Before that, I will definitely destroy your soul. It's strange, any other person would probably already shit himself with fear, but it's like I'm already used to it. On the contrary, I had something like in my head. Bastard demon, what the hell is he talking about? But literally after a moment Bahamurk calmed down, he folded his fingers as if preparing to snap them. Now, I'll give you the tools. After its click, the whole sky turned bright scarlet and a purple lightning table hit our apartment complex. It seemed to have touched the wiring because my precious computer was covered in colorful pillars of electricity. It lasted a little longer than a second. But the game opened to me on the screen changed its name. Hellcraft. Before I could even open my mouth, the mentor pointed his finger at the computer and said, I noticed your progress in this game, man. So you're going to use it to design hell? Yes, you will design hell for me with this game. And my younger servants are demons, they will already build in the likeness. So man. Show me your abilities. The construction site of hell without a name. Bahamurk is lying on a sund under an improvised bone umbrella from the sun and pours another can of soda into himself. By the way, on the way to hell, he grabbed a whole bunch of soda and now it's on the table next to him. Resting, he watched the construction process. Not far from him, a whole horde of low construction demons gathered. They stood and waited for orders, as if in some strategy. And as soon as I did any action in the game, they immediately reproduced it in hell. Bahamurk watched me with his head on his hand. 2 piles of soda cans had already formed on either side of him. He thought about it. 7 days, 4 hours and 37 minutes have passed since I gave him the job, translating it into human time. This man is clearly not a timid 10. He doesn't sleep at all, and all the time he creates this incredibly huge structure. And indeed, the structure was of amazing size. It seemed that with its architecture, attractiveness and atmosphere, it could compete with the main hell. Tall towers of Gothic style, spires going straight into the sky. Gorgeous windshields. A lot of architectural details beyond the control of an ordinary builder were present here, because this is hell, ordinary physics does not work here. Damn, is he so incredible? Or is there such a strong hatred lying to him? Bahamurk was very pleased. Ha! As expected from the person I chose. After a while, I took my hands off the keyboard and said softly, I'm done, Bahamurk. A moment later, my mentor appeared behind me and approached me applauding. The superiority of man. Staring at the screen, he added, you did it faster than I thought. My entire table was covered with cans of energy drinks. It seemed like I hadn't eaten in ages, but I didn't care. Which is much more important. So what? Have you chosen a name for hell? It was this question that tormented me more than sleep or food. And it seems I finally decided. Betrayal. That's right, the hell of betrayal. Right after choosing, I saved the world. And my first thought was to test my hell in action. Opening the doors of my musty little room, a bright light scorched me. When I came out into the living room, I saw her. This vile lady who commanded my father as she wanted. Looking at how she is sitting on our sofa with another new bag, I was fired up. It's time for revenge. And I was about to start when the boss put a bony hand on my shoulder. Remember, the person who can be imprisoned in hell is the one who committed the sin that you yourself chose. But the thing is that sin must be committed after hell has been created. That is, the condition is satisfied only when committing a sin. I understood. If the condition is not met, the key will not respond? Exactly. If he reacts, he opens the door of hell and drags the sinner there. With these words, the Bahamurk caught fire and began to disappear. Finally, he said. Well, good luck. I never would have thought that I would listen to the words of parting words from a demon. Well, it doesn't matter though. As soon as my mentor disappeared, I headed straight for my victim. She was sitting and taking pictures of her new branded bag as if nothing had happened. When she finally noticed me, she said softly with surprise. Ugh, the smell is like rot. Go wash up and get out of my sight. You stink just as badly as your mother. While saying all this, she continued to stare at her phone. I looked at the key, but it didn't light up. That's right, less than an hour has passed since the creation, probably she hasn't had time to commit a sin yet. The most reliable way is to wait a few days, but if nothing's wrong, go back to your room, you're in the way, you fucking kid. Ha. I didn't come out before, so why did I come out now? Ordered some kind of delivery? But I can't. I want to get rid of this bitch right now. Because she's a worthy trash. My mom got married at 23. It looked like she'd been sold. A woman from a poor family married a man from a rich one and lived under the guidance of a mother-in-law who was never impossible to please. Listening to the mockery and reproaches, she continued to smile, and all this only for the sake of me alone. The one who was worthy of crying like no one else smiled like a fool. Experiencing mockery and beatings from her father, she always smiled at me. And then she lost this place, too. If it was love, maybe it wouldn't be so insulting. But that bitch of his is sitting in front of me right now. One day I overheard her talking. Why do you think I only date old men? Naturally, because they have a lot of money. Yes, and what I posted on Instagram, a bag and a car, yes, they gave it to me. Really, he's such a jerk. She was sitting right on our couch and chatting about such things. And then she noticed me and turned around. And, were you eavesdropping? And then she grinned maliciously and showed her finger at her mouth. If you don't want to get kicked out of here like your mother, keep your mouth shut. Understood? This stuff satisfies only its own desires, it doesn't give a fuck if someone else's family broke up because of this or not. Why the hell did you come out? Are you deaf? An adult is talking to you. After holding the pause for a while, I turned on the theatergoer. Pulling back the collar of the t-shirt a little and squinting, I asked. How much do you want to get to leave your father and leave? She clearly hadn't expected this. What? You don't have to pretend to me anymore. Anyway, I know you're only with your dad for the money. She smiled maliciously. This kid doesn't follow words at all. If I need to take something, I'll take it myself. What can a smelly little boy who has nothing give me? After holding a pause for a while, I said with as much uncertainty as possible. 100 million that my father saved up for my studies. And I also know where the savings book and my father's seal are. The trap is set, I thought, and added. In total, it will be about 1 billion won. Hearing this, my victim's eyes lit up like a rat that saw food. 1 billion. I decided to finish her off. If you don't believe me, I'll show you. Do you know where Prada is? Convulsively getting up from the sofa, she followed me into her father's room. Where his safe was. How lucky that I know the code. When she opened it, banknotes and gold immediately fell into her eyes. With such money, you can get a good job abroad. Right? I lifted a pile of bills on a tray, as well as a savings book, with a seal. A drop of doubt flashed through her mind. Wait. Why did you suddenly decide to do that? Shouldn't you keep quiet about it? There for your future. A familiar voice sounded from the right. Ho ho. Bahamurk was sitting on the bed, watching what was happening like in a movie, eating popcorn. A human woman is also not such a simpleton. What will you do? And what else is there to do? We need to push harder. Tears dripped onto the floor beside me. I made as plaintive a face as I could. I wish mom would come back. After all, as soon as the young girl leaves here, she will be able to. He can come back. So I'm ready to do anything. Swallowing snot, I sobbed it out. Here even Bahamurk lost his jaw from what he saw. What can we say about this naive bitch? And I continued. Can you take this and get out of here? And now I saw her happy face. Is this jerk really a jerk? Is it really that simple? Laughing hysterically, she started loading cash and gold into the bag. I was happy. A smile spread across my face. This will satisfy the condition of betrayal of the father. Continuing to collect money, she said. Tell me the passwords and bank details. Okay? Leaving his image of a crybaby. I said it cruelly. You won't need it in hell. Apparently taking it as a joke, she grinned and turned to me. How fortunate. I just took the burning key out of my pocket. Pointing the key at this bitch, I turned it in an improvised lock. In the next moment, the space was distorted and the darkness was filled with a scarlet glow, accompanied by lightning. A second later, a door appeared in place of my improvised lock. Not even that, huge gates inlaid with human faces. Having turned the key in the keyhole, the doors opened with a bang. A fire was burning inside. Without even having time to be surprised properly, huge tentacles burst out of the door, like snakes, enveloped the girl, and dragged her to hell. As soon as the girl crossed a threshold, the doors also closed with a bang. Send a living person to hell. Landing in an empty gray brick room, the girl began to scream. What? Where am I? She was doomed to eternal suffering. I know that such an act cannot be justified. Bahamurk sat with a hellish tablet in his hands and watched her torment. Do you want to see it? I'm sick of something, I won't watch. And I know I'm not an incredible enough person to get that right. Bahamurk looked at me. Feeling remorse? But as he got closer, his gaze changed to surprise. Which one? Are you laughing? I couldn't help laughing. I was so pleased and funny. Finally, this creature will get what it deserves. Why do I feel so good? The next morning, I was casually putting on my old school uniform. And I lost weight while sitting in the room. The form has become freer. And really, the clothes looked a size or two too big. Hey, man. It's only been a couple of hours since that woman was sent to hell, and you're already behind the next one? I was standing on a pile of garbage right in front of the mirror. After trying on my outfit, I calmly replied to the boss. If you've already picked up a knife, you need to get rid of everyone. Turning around, I smiled at the demon and added. You don't like that your hell is empty either. Bahamurk bowed his head thoughtfully. You pretend to be caring, acting only for your own satisfaction. And then he opened his skull wide and added. I agree with you. The completed hell is the screams of the prisoners. It would be better to fill it more tightly. I'm wearing a school uniform for the first time in 3 months. Shaking off the dust from my backpack, I slung it over my back and headed for the exit. Just finished with the preparation. Let's go to school. Without thinking twice, I went to school in search of a new traitor. Bahamurk rubbed his hands in anticipation. Hell is gradually filling up. I'm already impatient. Class 2-4. A bunch of people crowded right around the entrance. They were discussing something violently. What is it? Really, what celebrity has come? Yom Seung Gi is back at school. I just put my bag down and sat down at my desk. Am I eating my sons? Ah. The idiot is eating. Didn't he refuse to go to school? I don't know if he came or not, I don't care. The main question is different. Wasn't the Buller gang chasing him? Right? These people were already walking down the corridor. As usual, the atmosphere in the classroom was very friendly. Ha. The air has gone bad again. Why the fuck did this jerk come at all? I hear everything freaks. Why are you asking? Kim Seung-hwan and all those Buller bastards. Clutching the key tightly in my pocket, I couldn't hide my joy. I came to send them to hell. A second later, the classroom door swung open, and the same guys stumbled into the room. Their leader immediately shone in his face. Idiot Yum. Since I was going to come, I should have warned you or something. Surrounding me from all sides, they mocked me. That's right, we're friends, it's frustrating. Bahamurk, who was standing next to me, whispered in my ear. And you're popular, man. Judging by the uproar after your arrival. I silently put my things on the table. But they were not destined to stay there for long. Kim threw them to the floor with one movement of his hand. Hey bastard, you left me with scratches on my face that were not easy to heal. You have to compensate me for this. If you don't want to get in the face, calmly follow me. Let's not make a fuss in class. Silently, I followed them to the men's room. And here I am standing in front of my abusers. So what? How will we compensate? You're the reason I got syphilis. The chief supported my former friend. Right. Do you even know how hard it was for Seung-hwan? He was severely scolded at home. And now he can't get into a prestigious university. I just stood there in silence and looked at the floor. Apparently one of the thugs was pissed off and he smacked me in the face with a swing. From such a strong blow, I immediately fell to the ground. Did that bastard swallow his tongue? In rages. Bahamurk took a seat in one of the booths. Is that what it means to be like a cornered rat? It's not like you had any relationship with them before. It won't be easy to get them to commit the sin of betrayal. What will a person do? How do you ask? I'll send everyone to hell. Bahamurk is right, there is no relationship between us. Then I won't be able to make them betray me. But people have been using improvised means since ancient times, thanks to which they managed to catch an animal several times larger and stronger than themselves. And in this hunt, the most necessary tool for me. The most effective weapon. Oh, idiot Yum. Did you really bring a knife with you? Or was he so excited by the blow that he decided to touch the papali? Hahaha. Silently, I took out a wad of money from under my jacket. And then, when the faces had already changed, he said. 5 million won. It's a simple money trap. What? Money? Is this a bribe? So that they don't beat you anymore? Asshole, you hit your head well. I can just kick you off and take them away, so what the hell are you doing? I calmly continued. That's right, though. It's not fair, so you won't do it. Bahamurk's chuckles were heard from the booth. He looked at the situation like a schoolgirl waiting for a confession. I threw a wad of banknotes on the floor. Just let me ask you something. Before I could finish, my ex-friend rushed at me with his fists. Shut your mouth, you idiot. But here's the bad luck, his buller friends were interested in my words. Taking Seung-hwan by the arms, they said. Wait. Let's hear it. Money, after all. Gotcha. Since he is so easily ready to give 5 million. So maybe he can give more. Sitting down next to me, the green-haired gang leader said. So, my friend. What's the request? I looked him straight in the eye and then I pointed my finger at my friend and laughed hysterically. Kim Seung-hwan. Beat that bastard up with me. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and bye.